Sony has recently pointed out some very interesting details surrounding Xbox's ongoing acquisition of Activision Blizzard, including concerns that once the deal is done, it could have a significant and potentially permanent impact on which console potentially millions of players will prefer to purchase going forward into the future. Basically, if Xbox makes Call of Duty a Xbox and PC exclusive title, then it could significantly harm PlayStation's business as well as be anti-competitive for any hardware manufacturers in the future. Now, this story comes by way of a Reset Era user named Idis, who pointed out that part of the review process for Xbox to acquire Activision Blizzard has been made very public. As Idis points out, Microsoft needs the legal okay from competition regulators all around the world. The FTC and the European Commission are the big ones, but for the deal to go through, it has to also be approved by around 20 regulators from elsewhere, like Japan, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, China, South Korea, etc. Now, as Idis discovered and explains, one of the countries involved in the regulation process is Brazil, and part of the process is for regulators to ask third parties about the transaction, to see what they think about it, and to contrast that info with the data sent by the parties involved, in this case, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. The government of Brazil posted the review process online, which is basically a questionnaire with a series of questions related to the acquisition and inquires about both Xbox and Activision as competitors in the video game industry. There are a few redactions, but primarily there's a lot of responses from major companies, including Sony, which Idis translated. VGC also picked up the story from Idis' post and did their own translations, which they kept in the first person, so we'll mostly be using those. Specifically in regards to the sheer impact that Call of Duty has as a franchise, and in the event that it were to become an Xbox exclusive, Sony had this to say. Call of Duty is so popular that it influences users' choice of console, and its community of loyal users is entrenched enough that even if a competitor had the budget to develop a similar product, it would not be able to rival it. Sony went on to explain the expenses and resources involved in making Call of Duty games, saying each annual Call of Duty release takes around 3 to 5 years to develop. As Activision releases one Call of Duty game per year, this equates to an annual investment of hundreds of millions of dollars. They added approximately 1,200 people work on each version, and another 1,500 are involved in the publishing and distribution. Thus, Call of Duty alone has more developers than most game companies employ across its entire development portfolio, including AAA studios. Sony concluded no other developer can devote the same level of resources and expertise in game development. Even if they could do that, Call of Duty is overly entrenched, so that no rival, no matter how relevant they are, can catch up. Elsewhere in the questionnaire, Sony pointed out that for its genre, Call of Duty is overwhelmingly the top seller, and even when it has a bad year, it's still one of the best-selling games overall. Sony even pointed out the game's popularity on social media compared to its competitors, saying Call of Duty has over 24 million followers on Facebook versus 7 million for Battlefield, and over 12 million followers on Instagram versus 2 million for Battlefield. As far as I can tell from what was translated, Sony never outright said that Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard is monopolistic or directly anti-competitive, or that regulators should bar or ban the acquisition from happening, but it's pretty clear here that they're throwing up some red flags, trying to get other people to see the implications behind what would happen if Xbox were to truly own and make exclusive one of the largest video game franchises in the world. One other interesting quote that was translated in the original Reset Era post was about Game Pass. Apparently, Sony said, Game Pass has grown to capture approximately 60 to 70% of the global subscription services market. That's an interesting one. I think that's probably just in terms of game subscriptions, but Sony went on to say that it would likely take several years for a competitor, even with substantial investments, to create a rival effective for Game Pass. Idis also added in the Reset Era post that Call of Duty represents an important revenue stream for PlayStation, saying they provided data, but it's redacted, and it is one of Sony Interactive Entertainment's biggest sources of revenue from third parties. So yeah, Sony definitely does not want to lose Call of Duty as a title on their platform for, obviously for brand recognition reasons, for monetary reasons. It's a huge source of income for them. So it would be a major loss if Xbox ultimately did decide to make it exclusive. And it's Once they own the company, they can absolutely do that. You're basically just taking it on their word or through, deals between Sony and Xbox that won't happen, right? But at any time, they could probably cancel that contract or pay a fine or whatever, and then, make Call of Duty exclusive. It's totally plausible. If you remember, within days of Microsoft announcing their plans to acquire Activision Blizzard, Xbox boss and CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer, tweeted out that he had met with Sony, saying specifically, "I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship." Then, according to a Bloomberg article written by Jason Schreier, who said he spoke with industry sources familiar with the situation, it was learned that at least the next 3 Call of Duty games made over the next 2 years would also be coming to PlayStation. But plans are hazier for the Call of Duty games further out. As far as other companies' responses to the Brazilian government's questionnaire, Warner Brothers, Ubisoft, Bandai Namco, Apple, Riot Games, Amazon, Google, and Meta really didn't have much to add. Either they didn't answer all the questions in the questionnaire, or they specifically went out of their way to say they didn't see any major conflicts or concerns with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So yeah, a lot to talk about here. Is Call of Duty really so big that nothing else could ever rival it? Possibly, maybe, but even if that's true, does that mean that that changes regulators' minds or makes them think differently about approving Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard? Maybe, maybe not. Obviously, there are a lot of other popular games out there that aren't just in, the first-person shooter genre, which would, suggest that it's not a monopolistic move. I mean, obviously, in some ways, it very much is. But, you have games like Fall Guys and Among Us and Minecraft, and some others that come to mind. More recently, obviously, there's Fortnite out there, too, right? There are games that can come and upset the status quo in terms of ways to make money in the games industry. So potentially buying this one major franchise might not have as big of a sway as kind of Sony has pointed out here, because there can always be, the next big thing. It just seems to be that Call of Duty for now and for, the last decade or two has been that major thing. So, who could say? I'll leave it to you to discuss in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video right here on Inside Gaming.